Welcome to Fox 54 News at 6. I'm Logan Alexandra Russell. Student-led walkouts are taking place in Madison today, joining high schools across the country in protest of ICE and its tactics for immigration enforcement. The protest was supposed to occur around noon today, but students reorganized the walkout after the school district threatened disciplinary consequences. The protest at James Clemens High School was moved to 3:45 this afternoon, and Bob Jones moved its walkout to a later date. Fox 54 Caleb Aguayo attended the protest at James Clemens and shows us just how local students are speaking out.
Students at James Clemens High School began protesting after they finished their classes, a change they say is meant to keep everyone free from any potential academic consequences. I spoke to some of them while they marched down County Line Road.
America is built on immigrants. I think it's very important that we're here and we're supporting a cause that we believe in. And I think all of us are staying out in the cold to support a cause we believe in and love. Just seeing that ICE is in Madison and in areas like this, I have plenty of friends that are impacted by it. They're scared. It's just scary.
It makes me really, really happy that so many at my school feel safe, they feel comfortable to come out here and protest and raise our voices. And it really makes me so happy that we have a community, even in Alabama, which is a deep red state, that feels comfortable standing up for the people who cannot.
It was a great way to bring everybody together and to help stop the terrible things that are happening in our community.
It's okay to have a difference of opinion. And that's what I said to our kids yesterday, that I was very proud of them for their discernment, that they wanted to find a way to express what they thought. They understood that other people might feel differently, and that next week we may have a group meet around the pole that feels differently, and that's fine too. And that we still all go to school together and learn together and get along with each other.
Students say their hope is to still speak out while keeping everyone safe and their records clean. It's still unclear when Bob Jones students might hold their protest. You can learn more by going to fox54.com. Today was cloudy and cool. This is out in Madison earlier today. You can see the clouds covering the sky, and from the looks of it, maybe some rain. I'm joined now by Fox 54 Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Jordan, we've made it to the middle of the week. We're seeing some cloudy skies as well. Can we expect any rain?
You know, you would normally anticipate cloud cover then equals rain. Unfortunately, that's just not the case this time. Now, we did have kind of that weird looming fog, misty situation going on through a good chunk of the afternoon, even now as we head into the early part of the evening. I'll show you the parkway here in just a second. We're still kind of dealing with that, but no rain that is detected on a radar, and that fog mist sort of a situation typically isn't picked up on a radar. Radar does look quiet, indicating that at least we're not talking about any heavy rain, and honestly, I think I'm kind of glad about the lack of rain across the Tennessee Valley, because if it were actually raining, it would be a very cold rain. Here's a live look out over the parkway, southbound on Memorial Parkway, and if you kind of look in the street lights, you can just kind of see it, that fog, misty sort of a thing, and that thing is probably going to hang out with us for the next several hours, and then even as we head into the overnight. So I do think a little bit of patchy dense fog is going to be possible across the Tennessee Valley tomorrow morning, very similar to what we saw this morning. In the meantime, it's a cold evening. Grab a coat, and you're going to want to keep the coat as we head into your Thursday. We'll talk about why here in just a second.
A federal grand jury in Huntsville has charged a Chattanooga man with assaulting a corrections officer. Thomas Elliott is accused of attacking a DeKalb County Sheriff's Correction Officer last November at the County Detention Center. The incident was filed in U.S. District Court after an investigation by the U.S. Marshal Service and the Sheriff's Office. If convicted, Elliott faces up to 20 years in prison. A family argument turned into a standoff with police yesterday evening in Albertville. Albertville police responded around 7:30 yesterday to the 100 block of Bob White Drive after reports of a fight between two male family members. Officers moved the alleged victim to safety, but gunfire was directed towards officers as they approached the suspect's home. Authorities returned fire and established a perimeter. After 2 hours, the suspect surrendered and he was taken into custody and transported by ambulance to be treated for a gunshot wound. Authorities say he is in serious condition but is expected to survive. No officers were injured. A 15-year-old was injured in a shooting this afternoon. According to Huntsville police, officers responded around 1 p.m. to the 700 block of Ben Arroyo Drive and found a teen with a gunshot wound. Investigators say the gun went off while the teen was handling it, causing the injury. Officials say the injuries are not believed to be life-threatening. Have you ever wondered what goes through a police officer's mind in the split second before they pull the trigger? It's a weighty responsibility most of us will never have to face. But earlier today, I got a glimpse into that high-stress world. The Decatur Police Department allowed me into their training range to step into their shoes using a state-of-the-art firearm simulator. And as I learned, things are rarely as clear-cut as they seem on a screen. In a dark room at the Decatur Police Range, the adrenaline is real. This isn't a video game. It's a firearm simulator where officers sharpen their most critical skill, judgment. The equipment is extremely realistic. We used actual guns with the barrels replaced with a precision laser, and the magazines are filled with CO2 cartridges, giving the gun a recoil with every shot.
There's studies that have shown that the closer to real life it is, the more you retain that training. The split-second decisions, and you may not see everything that's on scene in an instant.
The program houses hundreds of scenarios officers could face. Today, I went through 3 of them: a heated domestic dispute, a traffic stop, and a heated argument. The pressure mounted fast as the software forces users to be interactive during scenarios to get the most out of the training.
Some are escalation, de-escalation, compliance, attack. So depending on how the officer is doing, if they're just standing there not really communicating that well, we might up to the escalated state, right, and let them try to work that back down. Same thing if they're having really good effective communication, controlling the scene, then we can say, okay, they're going to comply. So yeah, many different scenarios with many different endings.
I had a virtual weapon pulled on me twice today, and I quickly learned that in the line of duty, hesitation isn't just a mistake, it's a matter of life and death. The Decatur Police Department says the training simulator is open to officers around the clock with new scenarios constantly being uploaded. The Huntsville Police Department filed 3 additional felony charges against former church daycare worker Cameron White. The new charges are on counts of sexual abuse of a child less than 12, fondling. Police say these charges stem from evidence uncovered as the investigation continues. White was originally arrested for sexual misconduct that allegedly occurred on or about January 20th. Court documents filed yesterday show that he allegedly had sexual contact with victims under the age of 12 on January 12th, a week before his initial arrest as well. White remains in Madison County Jail with a bond set at $50,000 cash for each charge. His next court appearance is scheduled for February 18th. A Florence man is behind bars after police and Homeland Security searched the Ichiban on Cox Creek Parkway. According to police, Eliezer Hernandez Trujillo, an employee at the restaurant, was interviewed and charged with 2 counts of first-degree sexual abuse. No additional details on this situation have been released. Hernandez Trujillo is currently held at the Lauderdale County Detention Center on a $30,000 bond. A mobile home in Lawrence County was destroyed in a fire Tuesday night. The fire started around 11 p.m. on County Road 282 in Caddo. 5 people and a family dog escaped the fire safely. Multiple agencies responded to the fire, and the scene was cleared by 2 a.m. According to officials, the fire was accidental, and the Red Cross is helping the family that was affected. Florence Utilities crews are responding to a power outage that affects about 570 customers in central Lauderdale County. The outage, reported around 10 this morning, was caused by a broken 3-phase pole. Crews are working to restore power safely, but no estimate is currently available. We are asked to report any outages to 256-764-4456. Officials are asking you to stay away from downed power lines or damaged equipment. Huntsville Utilities sent crews to Nashville, Tennessee last week to help restore power after last month's winter storm left thousands without power. The teams working through a mutual aid program have helped restore electricity to more than 16,000 homes and businesses though more than 9,000 are still without power. The National Guard also delivered a new transformer to speed repairs. Officials say the teamwork is helping line crews and residents recover faster. Governor Kay Ivey is putting $4.5 million into programs to help Alabamians fight poverty and achieve financial stability. North Alabama is seeing a big boost with the Community Action Partnership of Huntsville, Madison, and Limestone counties receiving over $300,000 and the Community Action Agency of Northeast Alabama getting over $960,000 to support local families. These grants fund jobs training These grants fund job training, financial literacy, and emergency assistance for essentials like food, housing, and health services, giving residents the tools to take control of their finances.
I get patients who come in with a bright red wound and they say it really, really hurts. And I tell them, like, that's a good sign. That means that it's pretty superficial and your nerves are okay and it will probably heal with a little bit of good wound care.
This Wellness Wednesday, we learned from experts how to properly treat burns and blisters. And HPD is giving you the chance to learn about internal affairs and the department's complaint system. We'll tell you when and where. Stick around with us.
Now, Wellness Wednesday on Fox 54 News, sponsored by Regenesis.
Burns, they can happen easily and are often painful, but they're also something that need to be treated quickly. Fox 54 Kenesha D hears from experts about how you can be ahead of the curve and avoid some misleading ointments. We learn more on this Wellness Wednesday.
When a burn happens, it can be quick and startling, but treating it right away is crucial. Ronnie and Anna with One Source Preparedness showed Fox 54 how you can quickly address a burn.
If Anna got burned right here on her arm, then we would immediately take some clean water and just rinse the area, okay? You want to make sure that it's rinsing for maybe about 10 to 20 minutes, especially it's going to help with that pain. And like you said, it's also going to stop any further damage to the tissue. Clean, non-stick sterile dressing, and then just not tightly, because you don't want it to be so tight to where you cut off the circulation in the limb, but you want to just lightly wrap it, okay? And again, you're just wrapping it after you rinse it to keep it dry and clean.
And depending on the burn, you might need to go to a medical professional. Aaron White, a burn surgeon with UAB, told us it might actually be good if you feel the pain.
I get patients who come in with a bright red wound and they say it really, really hurts. And I tell them, like, that's a good sign. That means that it's pretty superficial and your nerves are okay and it will probably heal with a little bit of good wound care. But when it's insensate, when it doesn't feel like anything, that's usually a deeper burn. It's going to need some help.
For parents with children who might have been burned, Sue Rowe, charge nurse for Children's of Alabama Burn Unit, says it's important for blisters to stay intact.
If there's a blister, you want to leave it on there unless it pops. Your skin is your friend, so you want to keep things clean and intact. But if it's a big blister, it may pop by itself. If the area is open like that, then an antibiotic ointment and some kind of a light covering is helpful for it.
When it comes to burns, there are some old wives' tales, such as using butter as an ointment. It's something we're told you shouldn't do.
Don't use butter. It's actually a grease, and it can make your burn deeper, hotter, because it holds the heat in.
Toothpaste is another common one, but it's really abrasive. It dries out the skin. The only home remedy that I can recommend is aloe. Unscented aloe vera is very good for superficial burns.
With your Wellness Wednesday, I'm Kenesha Dees.
And if you want to hear more from the experts, we have extended interviews right here on Fox 54+. Curious about how police complaints are handled in Huntsville? We'll tell you how HPD is giving you the chance to learn about it. Next, Jordan?
Yeah, it's proving to be a really cold evening across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures currently sitting in the low and mid-30s. We're going to maintain that cold air as we head into your Thursday. We'll discuss it in just a couple of minutes.
If you're curious about how police complaints are handled in Huntsville, you'll have the chance to get answers at a public forum hosted by the Huntsville Police Citizens Advisory Council. Investigators with Huntsville Police will explain the internal affairs process, how both internal and external complaints are investigated, and the department's accountability procedures. You can ask questions Tuesday at 6 p.m. at the Johnson Legacy Center on Cecil Fan Drive.
Now, the Tennessee Valley's certified most accurate forecast from the Fox 54 Weather Impact Team.
It was a very cloudy day here in the Tennessee Valley. This clip is from earlier today in Decatur, and it was a cold one too. Jordan, when can we expect some warmer temperatures?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? You would like a little bit. What is your definition of warm? Now, bear in mind it's February, so what would be acceptable to you?
50s.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a fantastic answer because I can actually do that. Not in the immediate future, but I can do the 50s. The 50s are in the 7-day forecast. I wanted to start things off with a time lapse from the top of Montesano, and I'm going to need you to trust me. Okay, I just need you to trust me that this is a time lapse from the top of Montesano because this is about all you're going to see. And this is going to prove a really good point. It's going to prove the gloomy conditions we had across the Tennessee Valley. The clouds were also incredibly low. The fog never really lifted from the top of Montesano, and that's why you just kind of continue to get this view, and it's impossible to see the city of Huntsville. It's impossible to even see the trees or the houses that sit on top of Montesano. So given how gloomy it was this afternoon, I thought I'd provide you with a little bit of good news. As we progress through the month of February, we are gradually going to add more and more daylight. As a matter of fact, we are going to add right around 50 minutes of daylight as the sunrise and sunset times continue to move through the month of February as we get ever closer to the springtime months once we get to March and April. Now, we had abundant cloud cover this afternoon. That kind of goes without saying at this point, but we never saw any rain. Radar continues to look nice and quiet this evening. Maybe a little bit of a mist drizzle sort of a thing continues over the next couple of hours. That's what we had this afternoon. Could translate into a little bit of patchy dense fog as we head into the overnight, but there's no accumulating rain in the forecast. We're going to be dry Thursday, Friday. We'll be dry Saturday, Sunday. Good news if you're hosting some sort of a Super Bowl event this weekend and you need to do your prepping for that. You're not going to have to deal with any rain as we finish off the work week. Our next opportunities for rain build into the Tennessee Valley by the time we get to next Tuesday and Wednesday. It's a cold evening, 33 degrees, both Pulaski and Fayetteville, sitting at 34 in Athens, 35 in Coleman, 35 degrees right now over in Florence. Moulton, actually one of the warm spots, sitting at 37 degrees, and then 35 for our friends over in Fort Payne. Of course, this is much cooler than we were this time 24 hours ago. Winds out of the north, making it 10 to 15 degrees cooler than we were this time yesterday. It's going to be really cold as we head into the overnight. Your heat's going to continue to run. It's probably not going to cut off at any point through the overnight because temperatures are going to drop into the mid-20s. I've got a low temperature right around 25 degrees. Now, in the low temperature department, we are going to get a little bit of improvement. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, temperatures dropping into the upper 20s and lower 30s. But by the time we get to Monday and Tuesday of next week, that's where the real improvement comes. Once we get to Monday and Tuesday of next week, we're talking about low temperatures in the low and mid 40s. Your heater might not actually run all night. That'll be a nice change of pace. 24 at 7 o'clock in the morning, 25 at 8, 28 by 9, 31 degrees by the time we get to 10 a.m. You're going to want to bundle up tomorrow morning. Stay bundled up as we head into the afternoon. Temperatures 15 degrees below where we should be this time of year. High temperatures only climbing into the lower 40s. I do think we'll get a little bit of sunshine, so that'll be quite nice. Have a good look at the next 7 days. There's your 40 on Thursday, 56 on Friday. See, I can do the 50s somewhat soon, but then we're right back to the 40s on Saturday, 45 degrees, but then plenty of sunshine. Back into the 50s on Sunday. So after we go from the 40s to the 50s to the 40s to the 50s, we're consistently going to hit the 60s. You remember how back during the later part of the summer, we were talking about fake fall. Well, now we're getting into the later part of the winter, and we're going to begin to talk about fake spring. That's what this is. This is fake spring. This is in no way an indicator that spring is on the way. This just merely gives us a little bit of a tease. 66 on Monday, 67 on Tuesday, 68 next Wednesday, and then, of course, we have the small opportunities for rain.
Celebrate Black History Month with a hike at Joe Wheeler State Park, hosted by Black Kids Adventures. Joe Wheeler Park holds an important place in Black history. Before desegregation, it was home to the only state-run outdoor spaces for Black people, including the Negro Recreation Area and Camp Drake for Black Boy Scouts. It was also where Alabama's first two Black State Park Rangers, Howard Fuqua and Samuel Hardin Sr., worked. Hikers will explore the trail while learning about the history of access, exclusion, and resilience in outdoor spaces. The event is free, but registration is required. For information on how to register, go to fox54.com.
For the first time in 2 years, the Alabama Crimson Tide men's basketball team is unranked nationally during SEC play. I'm Mo Carter, and I'll have a preview of tonight's game with Texas A&M next.
Fox 54 Sports is sponsored by Alpha Insurance.
And welcome into sports, everyone. The Alabama Crimson Tide are back in action tonight as they take on a Texas A&M squad that only has one loss in SEC play. Nate Oates and the Crimson Tide were soundly beaten and embarrassed at Florida on Sunday in a battle of top 25 teams. The loss dropped the Tide out of the AP top 25 polls for the first time this year. As a matter of fact, Coach Oates and the Tide, they're unranked for the first time since January of 2024. And things don't get any easier for Alabama as they welcome Texas A&M to the Coleman Coliseum. The Aggies are the second highest scoring team in the SEC at 92 points per game, and they're ranked second in the SEC at point differential at plus 15. Nate Oates explained what must be done to get a W tonight inside of Coleman.
A&M's good. They're really good. They're 3 games ahead of us in the league with, 8 games in. Bucky's done an unbelievable job turning it around immediately. Their whole system's based on playing hard, giving max effort. I told our guys it's perfect because if we don't fix what we have to fix, we're going to get dominated again at home.
And we'll have highlights tonight for you on Fox 54. Moving over to the NBA, College Sexton is on the move once again. Charlotte trading the former Alabama basketball standout and a few future draft picks to Chicago for Kobe White and Mike Conley Jr. This year, Sexton averaged 14 points and 4 assists for the Hornets while averaging 22 minutes per contest. The Chicago Bulls will be Sexton's 4th professional team. That'll do it for sports on Fox 54. I'm Mo Carter.
Coming up tonight on Fox 54 News at 9, Madison City School students joined their peers across the country in a walkout to protest ICE violence. But it wasn't without its challenges. Caleb Aguayo takes us there. And the 2026 legislative session is in full swing with several local lawmakers' bills making their way through the House and Senate. We'll tell you about a few of them coming up. And a South Alabama family gone, but not without a trace. Details from their home paint a disturbing picture. We'll have all this and more on your Fox 54 News at 9. Some London commuters are in for a real pop of joy. London's iconic double-decker buses usually just carry passengers, but driver Ricky Reed has added a twist. Armed with a bubble gun, he spreads smiles across the city, inside and out of his bus. What started 4 years ago with a simple bottle of bubbles has become a daily ritual, cheering commuters, delighting passerbys, and even earning him the nickname Mr. Bubble Man.
I am not positive enough for this. I see this and I think, great, I'm going to get sticky.
I feel like bubbles, if I was younger, I could get with the bubbles. But
right, but now as a full adult.
As an adult, no.
No.
I'm concerned about the soap getting in my eyes.
Oh, see, you won't be able to see, and you're going to be sticky. Okay, see, I'm not the only one. Logan Alexander's with me. Okay, one last look at the next 7 days. We're going to stay cold as we head into your Thursday. Grab the coat you're going to need at 40 degrees, 56 on Friday, but Friday brings about plenty of sunshine, only a couple of peaks on Thursday, and then cold again on Saturday. So we go 40s, 50s, 40s, 50s again on Sunday, and then we get into fake spring next week. That'll be fun.
Man, I am ready for some warmer temperatures. Well, that's all we have for you here at Fox 54 News at 6. Have a good night.